You wake up one day and you don't recognize the man in the mirror anymore. You're not broken, you're just numb. Not angry, not sad, not excited, just flat. And nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about the slow erosion that happens after 40. You spend years showing up for others, for your job, your family, your kids, your bills, and one day you realize you forgot to show up for yourself. You used to feel alive when you trained, when you lift heavy, when you pushed through the pain and walk out of the gym with that fire in your chest. But now you scroll, you snack, you overthink, and that fire is barely a flicker. And deep down, you know it. You feel it when your t-shirt don't fit the same, when your lower back hurts for no reason, when your energy crashes mid-afternoon, when you fake the smile in front of your kid because you're just too damn tired to be present. This isn't about aesthetics. This isn't about abs. This is about a man who lost his edge. And the worst part, you've gotten used to it. You've normalized the numbness. But I haven't. I refuse to. I've been there. I know what it feels like to have discipline and still feel lost. To look strong on the outside, but feel hollow inside. To carry the weight of the world, but never ask for help. I built my body over decades. Almost 30 years of training. Competing, winning, losing. Fighting through injuries that almost paralyzed me. I rebuilt my back when doctors said I might not walk again. But what they didn't see was that the hardest part wasn't the rehab, it was the silence in my own head. You don't just rebuild your body, you rebuild your fire, your clarity, your standard. And it always starts in the gym, not because muscle fixes everything, but because discipline does. Most men are sleepwalking through life, distracted, soft, quietly miserable. They gave up without even noticing. But you're here, you clicked on this. That means there's still something inside you, a spark, a whisper, a man you used to be or a man you've never met yet. And today we're going to wake him up. How you lost yourself. Every man reaches a point where he no longer recognizes the person in the mirror. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's not one big trauma. It's slow, quiet. It's the tiny compromises day after day. The stories you start believing. The moments where you silence yourself just to keep the peace. And one day, you wake up as a stranger in your own life. But before I lost myself, I had to rebuild someone just to survive. See, when I was 12, 13, I didn't have confidence. I hated how I looked. Big nose, skinny, awkward. I didn't think I was attractive. I didn't think I was enough. And kids can be cruel. They'd make fun of me. I'd laugh with them to hide the shame. And then one day, a classmate showed me a bodybuilding magazine, Ronnie Coleman, Arnold, these monsters, these gods. And he said, if you ever look like that, no one will ever mess with you again. You'll get the girls, you get respect, you'll own the room. That sentence hit me harder than any insult ever did. It wasn't just about muscle, it was about power. Control. It was about not being a victim anymore. So I started training, push-ups, sit-ups, every night alone in my room. No coach, no Instagram, just pain and obsession. That's where it all started. The body, the discipline, the fire. It didn't come from motivation. It came from pain. But somewhere along the way, you forget why you started. You build this armor and then one day you realize you're not wearing it anymore. You've become it. You stop questioning, you follow routines, you keep performing, you smile for the world. But you're tired, empty, numb, and deep down you know you've lost yourself. For some men it's gradual. For others, it's a punch in the gut. Maybe it's the day you look in the mirror and see a belly instead of abs. Maybe it's the moment your son asks you to play and you say, "Not now, I'm tired." Or maybe it's the quiet truth you feel when you're lying in bed at night, knowing you're meant for more but settling for less. That's how we lose ourselves. Not in a war, but in comfort, in routine, in pretending we're okay. And brother, I've been there. Not once, multiple times, after my injury, after my surgeries, after losing everything I had built. Even with the body, the career, the followers, I was drifting. Because deep down, I had stopped honoring the man I truly was. And I know a part of you feels that too. That's why you're here. That's why you clicked on this video. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're just disconnected. And in the next chapters, I'm going to show you how I reconnected. Not just with my body, but with my fire, my standard, my leadership. Because the man you used to be deserves to meet the man you're about to become. Why comfort is a real enemy. Comfort doesn't hit like a punch. It creeps in like warm water. And by the time you realize you're boiling, it's too late. Most men think their enemy is stress, or age, or exhaustion. But that's not what kills them. It's comfort. Comfort is the real enemy, not because it hurts, but because it feels so damn good. It's the invisible poison, the soft pillow, the warm bed, the extra click, the skipped rep, the "I'll do it tomorrow, it's pleasure dressed as peace." And that's the danger. Comfort feels like safety, but it's actually sedation. It tells you, you earned this, take it easy, you've done enough. But that voice, it doesn't shut up. It grows, it becomes who you are. And one morning, you look in the mirror and realize the man staring back isn't dangerous anymore. He's not sharp, not alive, not awake, just existing. And that's what happened to me. There was a time in my life where I had everything I thought I wanted. Clients, status, freedom, a schedule I controlled, an image people respected. But inside, I was flatlining. No more hunger, no more fire. I wasn't chasing evolution. I was managing mediocrity. I wasn't facing pain. I was avoiding discomfort. And that was slowly killing me. I skipped the hard reps, avoided the hard truths, tolerated standards I swore I'd never accept. Not because I was weak, but because I got comfortable. And I convinced myself I had time. Comfort never shoots. It drips. It's not one punch, it's 1,000 quiet cuts, a late alarm, a skipped workout, a conversation you should have but don't. And before you know it, you're soft, you're passive, you're invisible. Your edge is gone, your present is gone, your fire is gone. You're overweight, you're overstimulated but underpowered. You're emotionally muted, disconnected from your mission, respected by no one, especially not yourself. That's not life. That's a slow fade with Wi-Fi and a fridge full of crap. That's why I built this channel, not for broken men, but for men who've been asleep, men who traded intensity for comfort, not out of weakness, but out of routine and silence. So if you're watching this right now, ask yourself, when was the last time you were proud of your choices? Not your abs, not your bank account, your standard, how you eat, how you train, how you show up. If the answer doesn't come fast, then you already know. I wasn't depressed, I wasn't lazy, I was just too damn safe. And I realized I had two options. Stay here, stay there, slowly rot from the inside, or step back into the fire and fight. So I choose pain, I choose structure, I choose clarity, I choose discipline. And that decision, it saved my life. If you want to become a man you respect again, you have to bury comfort, because comfort won't kill you quickly. It'll just make sure you never fully live. Discipline saved my life, not motivation, not inspiration, discipline. There were moments in my life where everything felt like it was falling apart. I didn't have the energy to smile. I couldn't even walk. I had nothing left except my rituals. When I got that infection after my spinal surgery, I couldn't move. I was stuck in a hospital bed for months. The doctors told me you might never walk again. I was 38 years old and I have be pro, and I had to relearn how to sit, how to stand, how to take one step. You know what got me through? It wasn't hope. It wasn't willpower. It was discipline. Discipline is what I had left when I had nothing else. Every morning I'd visualized my comeback. Even when I couldn't work, I visualized my training, my meals, my structure, my protocol, because that's what discipline gives you: order. When the world is chaos, your body is your battlefield, and your rituals, there's your armor. Don't wait for motivation. Build a structure that moves with or without it. Train at the same time every day. Eat the same first meal every morning. Get up early, even when you don't want to. Take cold showers, read instead of scrolling, track your food, lift heavy, sleep like your life depends on it, because it does. Most men wait to feel good before they act, but the truth is, you act your way into feeling better, not the other way around. When I got back in the gym after my recovery, I couldn't even load my own plates. My wife had to help me. I used bands, body weights, machines, and every rep felt like war. But I showed up day after day, and guess what? The same man, the one they thought was finished, came back. Stronger, sharper, hungrier. Discipline isn't a punishment, it's your freedom. It's the only thing that gives a man pride when the rest of his life is falling apart. And if you're over 40 and you feel like you've lost control of your body, your habits, your drive, it's not too late. You don't need a six-pack, you need a backbone, and discipline will rebuild it for you. So here's where you start. Start small. Same wake-up time every day. Same 3 meals, same 4 workouts a week, same habits, repeat, repeat, repeat. You don't need more noise, you need a code that makes you proud of the man in the mirror again. Discipline is not optional, it's not for the elite, it's for the man who's tired of living like a ghost, it's for the man who's ready to rise again. If you don't choose discipline, you're already choosing destruction. So make the choice. Today, rebuilding the man. After you've hit rock bottom, rebuilding isn't just about stacking muscles or grinding harder. It's about reconstructing a man from the inside out. When I was lying in a hospital bed, unable to turn my body, unable to work, I didn't care how shredded my abs were. I didn't care how much I benched it. I just wanted to stand up again. I just wanted to hold my son one day and say, I came back from hell. And I didn't quit. So when I talk about rebuilding the man, I'm not talking about hacks. I'm talking about 5 core pillars, 5 dimensions every man needs to rise again. The body. Your body is your engine, not for vanity, but for energy, for dominance, for the respect you earn from yourself. Rebuilding your body doesn't start with heavy weights. It starts with honesty. What do you see in the mirror right now? Not the high aesthetics, the standard. Are you proud of how you move, how you show up, how you feel in your skin? After my spinal infection, I had to rebuild everything. Not from 50%, from zero. I trained with band, with a walker, with pain that wouldn't have made most men quit. But I rebuilt, not because I was strong, but because I refused to let the weak version win. To the mind, the body means nothing if the mind is lost. A strong man without clarity is a weapon pointed at himself. I had to learn to slow down the chaos, to listen to my thoughts, to cut out the noise, the doubts, the distractions, the bullshit. Rebuilding the mind means this: you stop letting emotions lead the mission and you start leading your emotions. I started journaling, meditating, writing down my wins, my struggles. I reprogrammed my thoughts like I was training my muscle, daily with intention. 3. Energy. testosterone, sleep, recovery. This isn't optional when you're 40 plus. This is the battlefield now. Most men feel like they are falling apart, not because they are lazy, but because their tank is empty and no one taught them how to refill it. I started tracking my sleep, fixing my nutrition, focusing on real foods, on hydration, on stress. I reduced inflammation, I rebalanced my hormones, and my fire came back. Energy is your edge, and if you don't manage it, the world will drain you dry. 4. Relationships. You want to know what truly tests a man? It's not failure, it's relationships. When I was broken, my wife Marjorie was there. When I couldn't walk, she loaded the machines for me in the gym. That's not romantic, that's real, that's partnership. And now I have a son, Nolan. Everything changed when he was born. You can't rebuild yourself and neglect your people. Because being a man is not about isolation, it's about elevation. And if you don't elevate those around you, then you're not rising, you're just climbing alone. 5. Mission. If you wake up without a target, you'll always feel lost. I had to redefine what I was chasing. Not just trophies, not just followers, but legacy. My mission now is clear. Help men rebuild through my program Rebuild 40, through my app Metamorphics, through every piece of content I put out. Because I know what it feels like to lose it all, and I know what it takes to come back. Rebuilding the man is not a program, it's a process, and it never really ends. But when you commit to it, you rise different, with a stronger back, a clearer mind, a cleaner cycle, and a fire in your chest that nothing can put out. You're not who you were, you're not who they said you were, you're who you decide to become. One rebuild habit at a time. The mirror test. Here's a question I want you to sit with. What would your son think if he watched how you live your life today? Not what you say you'll do, what you actually do, the way you treat your body, the way you speak to your wife, the way you show up or avoid, the way you exist. If your son followed your exact footsteps, would he become a man you'd be proud of? That's what I asked myself one morning. I looked in the mirror and I saw a version of me I didn't respect anymore. My body was still there, the muscle, the trophies, the image, but the fire, it was gone. I was scrolling more than I was reading. I was reacting more than I was leading. I was existing, not living. My gym bag was in the corner, unopened for weeks. My dumbbells were covered in dust. The weights I used to lift with pride untouched. And every excuse felt justified. Because I was tired. And I thought of Nolan, my son, 2 years old, watching me even when I thought he wasn't. And I realized, if I don't wake the fuck up now, he's going to copy this version of me. The tired man, the distracted man, the man with no edge. That was my mirror test. I saw a man who stopped honoring his potential, who traded intensity for comfort, presence for productivity, truth for convenience. And that day I said, never fucking again. It will not be the man who tells his son to be strong while slowly killing myself with softness. I will not be the man who teaches discipline while living in excuses. I will not be the man who talks about fire but never lights his horn. I made a decision that day to be the man my son would look up to be the man I needed when I was 13, to be the man who earns his own respect in the dark every day. So now it's your turn. Go to the mirror, look into your own eyes and ask, am I proud of how I'm living? Not yesterday, not in theory, today. And if the answer is no, good, because now you know what to do. You don't fix it with motivation, you fix it with action. 1 rep, 1 meal, 1 choice at a time. Waking up, there's still a man in there, not the man you settled for. The one you used to be, the one you dreamed of becoming, the one you buried under comfort, chaos, and routine. Is stronger than you remember, hungrier than you admit, and tired of being ignored. But he won't come back on his own. You have to go get him. You have to wake him up with every rep, every clean meal, every early alarm, every set you don't skip, every time you show up when no one's watching. This isn't about motivation. This isn't about hype. This is about becoming a man you respect again. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for clarity. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It won't come. Rebuild your fire. Rebuild your standard. Rebuild the man. Don't ask your fire back. Earn it, one rep at a time, until the mirror salutes you back.